Alright, welcome back. This is Mica casa. As you can see, it's a pretty big rig. It's a Super C based on a Ford F650. And as you can tell by the stripes, it looks a little different than most RVs. When we started it out, it had plenty of mountains and streams and roads plastered on the side of it with horrible graphics that had all faded and gone nasty. But we decided to strip it all out, paint it white, and add a little flair with some racing stripes to mimic the old Ford 350 Mustang. And as you can see, I think it turned out really nice. So before I gab on about all the cosmetic changes, I'll talk about some of the custom mods I made to this RV on the outside. One of the more recent ones was the addition of door struts for all the doors. Since these doors are really thin, they're only about a ½ inch thin, I used just a backing plate or a mending plate from a hardware store, epoxied it. I got these brackets I actually fabricated myself, kind of copying some I saw on another RV, but I'm sure somebody makes and sells them. And all the struts I just purchased off McMaster-Carr. I think they're like a 15-inch, I think 20 to 30 pounders. They do a great job. Kind of one of the bigger changes I made when I repainted the RV was I took off the original twisty lock key locks that were on all the doors and replaced it with a paddle style door handle. It was kind of a big mod. I fabricated some brackets to hold it on myself, just because finding this kind of hardware is really hard to find. I had a really hard time even finding these. Some sources were very expensive, like 10 to 12 bucks a pop. I ended up getting them from the manufacturer for about $2 a pop, so it was much more reasonable. And I fabricated the rods myself. I used like a piece of plywood to make a template for all the doors. That way I could kind of fabricate all the lengths in the shop and not have to guesswork. And I plugged up all the holes with an acrylic plug I made and had the painters paint over them and smooth them out. Looks really nice. But the doors are pretty awesome. They're one of my new favorite mods. One kind of quick little easy mod I did here is I have these little knee pads for, you know, working on the vehicles or just dumping the tanks or whatever. I got some clothes hooks from the hardware store. So some, you know, from the hardware section. Screwed it to the door with some short screws, and now I got a good place to hold that and make it easy to get to. In here, this is my little tool bay. I've got a Craftsman toolbox that fits in here like a glove. It's got locking latches so it doesn't fly open when we're driving. The kind of neat thing is I wired up a compressor to here, powered by the switch, runs up to a regulator right here, and all the hose is in this tube, this big PVC drain tube I bought at the hardware store, and I ran it through the back of my bay there. I kind of cut a hole in the back of the bay to run it through, and that all runs back. I'm going to climb under here and show you. Back to here, over to a compressor. As you can see, I've got some aluminum tread plate trim with some lights. I put these on myself. I took out the original trim, kind of gave it more of a trucker look. Kind of came out really nice. Our so-called big bay. Let me empty this out and I'll show you what's under here. Okay, so this is kind of emptied out enough to see what's in here. Really two big things in here. One is the in-house vacuum system. This is a very handy little piece, kind of goes up to the floor into the dinette. And then this guy here is my sub panel for all my inverted supplied power outlets. Our rig originally came with no inverter, which was really annoying. So I wired one up. It's not exactly the cleanest wiring in the world. Again, I get to the struts here. This is a lifesaver. We used to have the little crappy plastic latches, and eventually they would either break or snap off or come loose whenever my head was underneath the door, and piss me off to no end. Up here in the front, I'll show you a little tour of the cab. Again, I've kind of added some lights, did some painting. I did all these vinyl stickers myself. I had access to a vinyl cutter, so I found the font they used on the old Ford Mustangs Mashed everything, little extra little forward action, and alright, let's check out the inside. Pretty standard truck cabin here. When we bought it, it had no carpet, which I thought was really stupid. But I was able to find this carpet direct from Ford for the double cab version they did of this truck. As you can see, I mounted the car seat here in the middle. It's a bit of a tight fit, but it works. It allows our daughter to ride up in front. The seat's rated for I think up to 85 pounds, so she can stay in it for quite a while. It's really nice to have. It's got the good old standard GPS. Got a nice big serial receiver with the backup camera hooked up to it. And you see down here, I've got a little bit of homemade electronics. When we bought the rig, it had a quick key, a hydraulic lift system. Even finding a replacement control panel was like $600, but then I couldn't even find one. And I kind of thought about it, and I thought, you know, this is really stupid. There's got to be an easier way to make 5 switches, essentially. So I just rigged one on myself. There's instructions on RVNet on how I did that, and it kind of worked out really nice. Of course, we got the hula girl. Otherwise, up here it's pretty standard. Not much to write home about. And here, one of the more decorative mods I did was I fabricated a handle out of an old Ford wrench. There's a lot of dumb things you can buy for your RV that they sell at RV stores, and I would have thought these handles were one of them until I read some people raving about them. They're just simple handles that go onto your screen door. They work really well. It makes closing and opening the door much easier, especially for my daughter, who's quite a bit shorter. When she comes in, it's harder for her to hold the door. So, you know, if you want to spend your money at Camping World, spending on these are definitely worth it. You can get by with one, but we did 2 because of my daughter. You also might notice here something a little bit funny inside my door. Let me open the screen here. It looks a bit unsightly, I admit, but its function is awesome. Basically, it's a door actuator that I have fitted to this lock for my door lock. That way, when we leave the RV, I can lock and unlock the doors along with the front cab doors with a key remote. So that was one of the first mods I did, and man, am I glad I did it. It's totally awesome. Another little mod I made to these stairs was to add some LED lights, some kind of leftover LED lights under each step, so that the stairs light up nicely at night. One of the more recent mods as well is that I picked up off the forums is doing LED lighting here. This is a waterproof, self-adhesive strip of LED lights that you can buy them in 16-foot lengths from superbrightled.com, and stick it on here, wire it up. Some people wire it down the arm and kind of run a wire down manually, but I thought it'd be a pain in my ass, so what I did was wired it up through the top arm, and then I go up kind of over the roof through an existing hole in the roof to a switch down here by my cabinets. And this way, whenever I need to use it, all I have to do is basically pull this plug out of here and plug this in together, and I'm ready to go. I'll kind of show you some pictures. I'll go turn it on now, but I'll show you some pictures at night to show you how it lights up. It doesn't look like much in the daylight here, but it really lights it up at night, so it's pretty nice. Again, with the custom stickers, here's my name, and one more kind of custom sticker I made. I had some leftover vinyl from the Strides project, and I really hate all the maps that are available in stores, so I'm a graphic artist by trade, and so I made my own map and cut it on the vinyl myself. So let's go down here. I'll show you some of the bigger mods I did in my battery bay here. Some light in here. When I got this RV, it had 2 house batteries. Originally came with one and had a second one strapped on top of it with tie downs and wired with 4-gauge starter wire. So it wasn't exactly set up for full timing, and it had no inverter, which was really annoying. But basically this rig comes with a really large, these really large brackets that hold onto the frame that held the original battery tray for the chassis battery. I modified those and widened it out so that it would hold this large tray that I created, and I welded up, and now I've got 6 volts batteries for my house batteries, and I've got two if you can get any light in there, two chassis batteries and 2 backup chassis batteries just in case. So here's my inverter, Xantrex 2000 watt Freedom 458. It's not the it's the I think modified sine wave. It's not the fancy ones, but it hasn't killed my computer yet, and I don't run a microwave, so I don't really care. But yeah, it fits in this old battery tray really well. The original chassis battery tray, I just kind of repositioned it and moved it up higher. Some people have kind of give me shit about, or giving me grief about putting in my inverter with the batteries. You typically don't want to do that because of off-gassing from the batteries. But as you can see, this is a really well ventilated area. This is all open, not only here but above the batteries up here. It goes back to the chassis, so I don't really think it's a problem. It's been 3 years and we haven't blown up yet, thankfully, and hopefully it will continue not to blow up. I feel that if you have a hydraulic slide out, I think they're kind of becoming less and less of the way to go, and probably for these reasons, but they definitely can fail. But don't be afraid to look on the forums and try to find out how to fix them. I've replaced the solenoid twice after it's failed. The first time I picked one up, a replacement at West Marine. The second time I found one in a Napa from an old V8 Bronco. It's a continuous duty 40 amp relay. And then finally, once the actual motor went out, but I was able to test the relay. I knew the relay was giving it power, and I was able to find a motor online and have it shipped overnight to a very expensive shipping. But it got me fixed, and once I got in, it worked right away. It's very easy to fix, so definitely worth giving it a go if you ever have a failure. Over here, another one of the first mods I did was improve the water system. The original water pump was very noisy, kind of lousy pressure, and just all around sucked. So I got the Extreme Sure Flow, and it's lasted us 3 years, no problem. Got the replaceable filter, or the reusable filter rather, and an accumulator which kind of keeps some pressure built up in case, so the motor doesn't have to run all the time, or doesn't have to run right away whenever you turn on the faucet. These have been a great addition. They kind of got this kind of Frankenstein looking mount to hold it all. Trying to work with this pipe is really difficult, so putting in a new pump setup is not exactly easy, but definitely worth it. You can see here too, I've got the gauge for the sea level gauge. I don't know if I call it a mod, but one little tip I picked up is using a quick release, a brass quick release hose nozzle. I tried the plastic ones, they suck, they totally leak and drain down the side of your RV. And even the brass ones, when you go buy them at the hardware store, if you buy one, they sell like these anodized aluminum ones that look brass but they're not, and they're cheaper, and eventually they corrode and they fall apart, and they're a nightmare to remove from here. But if you go into the high pressure hose section, you can find true brass ones like this one, and it works much better, seals better, and hopefully it won't corrode as much as aluminum. But I got a little this is another one of those RV gimmicks that actually I think works pretty well. It's better than sticking a wand on the toilet, and it does an okay job at spraying out the inside of the black tank. I didn't bother with the gray tank, and I put a quick release here on here so I can pop my hose on. And here for the power, I've added an automatic transfer switch. I've got my 50 amp adapter in case I get a 50 amp only site. To get back to the garage, so I kind of mentioned in my other video, I've got a little garage in the back of my RV, and this is all the stuff I can fit in there. That's 3 adult bikes, 1 3-person tandem, a dirt bike, and a kid's bike. I'm going to fit all that within a 10-foot by, or I mean a 4-foot by 8-foot space. And you see it's fairly small. As I said kind of in the interior video, you know, things that hang from the wall are really great ways to store stuff. You know, cabinets are nice, but sometimes they're kind of hard to get to. I like these little wire baskets I picked up from, I don't know, some Container Store or some store, and I just screw through them, right through them into the wall, and they support a good amount of weight and hold on pretty well. If you got a garage or you just got someplace where you want to hang something heavy, you know, using some plywood as kind of an extra surface is really great. I take this little piece of plywood, screw it on a couple places. Now I got a firmer place to screw my bike mounts onto. As you can see here, I've got my Mac Pro tower that feeds my computer. It gets too hot in the summer to have in my office, so I keep it out in here, and it works out really well. It's not really in the way, but that's about it. I mean, it's a small space, but we can fit a lot of stuff in here, including all this stuff. So let's check out and see how I do just that. Okay, there you go. 1 motorcycle, 3 adult bicycles, 1 3-person tandem, and 1 child side bike. It's a tight fit, but I make it work. I use some truck bed fork mounts for 2 of the bikes. On this guy on the mountain bike, turn it sideways so the handlebars don't take up a lot of width. For this guy, it has a through axle, so it's kind of harder to take the front wheel off. So I just leave both wheels on and mount that. I use large shelf brackets from Home Depot as kind of wheel holders against the wall. Works out really well. And here you got the tandem in here. This tandem actually comes into 2 pieces with some couplers. It's a co-motion tandem. It's really nice to be able to take it apart. I don't think it could fit in here otherwise. It's the frame itself has an 8-foot wheelbase, not including the wheels, so I don't think it would really fit in here very well without it. I've also made a little wooden mount here on the ground for the tandem to hold the frame up without damaging it. And then the bike here, this guy just kind of stays on with a bungee cord to whatever I can hold it on to. But it all holds in there really well. Hopefully the door should close without trouble. There you go. You see up here I added some more tread plate trim to kind of give it a little fancier look. Made my little camera mount here for my little eBay camera. Got some decorative stars I put because I accidentally made a hole in the wrong place, so I kind of made some stars to cover it up. Got some cheap off-road lights that I put an LED light in for porch lighting, but I kind of rarely use it, so it's not exactly a big feature. But that's about it. I think that's all there is to see out here. Hope you enjoyed the tour, and enjoy the road.